Maya Bennett walked down the long hallway of the space station. Her boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. Behind her, 3 large creatures followed. They were quiet as shadows. Their shoulders came up to her waist. Their eyes were bright amber and never looked away from her. Security Officer Carlos Webb stepped in front of Maya. His hand moved near his weapon. His partner, Linda Pierce, stood beside him. Both officers looked nervous. "Ma'am, we need to ask you something," Carlos said. His voice was tight. "Why are those Cravathi cubs following you?" Maya stopped walking. She turned her head to look at the 3 aliens behind her. Each one had silver-gray fur. Dark patterns ran along their backs like ridges. When Maya stopped, all 3 cubs sat down at the same time. Their tails curled around their back legs. They looked calm and patient. "They don't follow anyone," Maya said. Her voice was simple and clear. Carlos looked at Linda. Linda looked back at Carlos. Neither officer seemed to understand. The Cravathi were famous across the galaxy. Everyone knew about them. They were hunters. They were smart. They were strong. The Cravathi never bowed to anyone except their own leaders. They never followed orders from other species. "Then why are they behind you?" Linda asked. She kept her hand near her weapon too. "They walk with me," Maya said. "That's different from following." The biggest cub made a low sound in his chest. Maya had started thinking of him as Storm because of the dark patterns in his fur. The sound wasn't angry. It was almost like he agreed with what Maya said. "Lieutenant Bennett, listen," Carlos said. He tried to sound polite but firm. "The Cravathi delegation came here yesterday. They're here for the peace talks. These cubs belong to Ambassador Vexthar. If something bad happens to them, there will be serious trouble." "Nothing bad will happen to them," Maya said. She turned to face the 3 cubs completely. She had names in her head for all of them. Storm was the biggest. Cloud had lighter fur with white patches. Sky was the smallest and had the softest eyes. Maya hadn't given them these names out loud. She just thought of them this way. "Right?" Maya said to the cubs. All 3 cubs tilted their heads to the side. Their ears turned forward. They seemed interested in what she would say next. The security officers looked confused. Linda slowly lowered her hand away from her weapon. "How did this even start?" Linda asked. Her voice was softer now. Less afraid, Maya thought back to 2 days ago. She had been alone in the observation deck. That was the big room with the giant window that looked out at the stars. Maya liked to go there when she needed to think. The cubs had walked into the room quietly. Maya saw them right away. Most humans would have been scared. Most humans would have run away or called for help. Maya just looked at them and nodded once. Then she went back to watching the stars. The cubs had sat down next to her. They stayed there for a whole hour. Nobody followed anyone. They just existed in the same space together. "I treated them like equals," Maya said to the officers. "Not like pets. Not like dangerous animals. Not like important diplomatic property. Just like equals." Storm stood up. He walked forward until he was right next to Maya. His head came up to her chest. Carlos got tense again, but Storm just looked at Carlos with those smart amber eyes. There was no threat in the look. "Just awareness. The Cravathi don't follow people," Maya said. She slowly reached out her hand. She put it on Storm's shoulder. The cub leaned into her touch. "They make choices. They choose who to walk beside. For some reason, they chose me." "The ambassador is going to want to know why," Carlos said. His voice was weak now. He didn't sound like he was in charge anymore. "Then maybe you should ask him," Maya replied. She looked at Carlos directly. "Ask him why his children make the choices they make. Ask him what his children see in people." Linda put her weapon away completely. She looked at Maya with something like respect. Carlos still seemed uncertain, but he also put his weapon away. "We'll need to file a report," Carlos said. "File whatever you need to file," Maya said. "But these 3 aren't prisoners. They aren't on leashes. They're here because they want to be here." Storm made that rumbling sound again. Cloud and Sky stood up too. They moved to stand near Maya, 1 on each side. All 3 cubs formed a triangle around her. "Not trapping her. Protecting her." "I've never seen anything like this," Linda said quietly. She sounded amazed. "The Cravathi never bond with other species. Everyone knows that." "Maybe everyone was wrong," Maya said. "Or maybe nobody ever tried to treat them the right way." Carlos shook his head slowly. He tapped his communication device. "This is Officer Webb. We need the ambassador contacted. We have a situation with his cubs, no danger. Just unusual circumstances, the device crackled. A voice came through. Copy that. The ambassador will be informed. Maya knew this would bring complications. She knew people would ask questions. She knew the situation would get bigger and more complex. But when she looked down at storm, cloud, and sky, she didn't feel worried. She felt something else, something she couldn't quite name yet. Storm looked up at her. His amber eyes seemed to look right into her soul. Maya wondered what he saw there. What had made these three cubs choose her out of everyone on the station? She was just a security lieutenant. She wasn't special. She wasn't famous. She was just someone trying to do her job and be a good person. Maybe that was enough. Maybe that was everything. Come on, Maya said to the cubs. Let's go see your father. The three cubs moved with her as she started walking again. Carlos and Linda followed at a distance. They kept their distance, but they kept watching. The whole station would be watching soon. Maya could feel the weight of that attention coming. But the cubs didn't seem to care. They just walked beside her, step by step, equal to equal. And in that simple act, everything changed. Ambassador Vexithar was huge. Even for a Cravathi, he was massive. When he stood on his back legs, he was almost 8 feet tall. His silver fur had black patterns all over it. The patterns showed which clan he came from, which family, which bloodline. He sat on a large seat that humans would call a throne. The Cravathi called it a judgment seat. Security had brought Maya to the diplomatic suite. The cubs had refused to leave her side. That made things complicated. Now Maya stood in front of the ambassador with Storm on her right side, Cloud on her left side, and Sky right behind her. Lieutenant Maya Bennett, the ambassador said. His voice was deep and rumbled like distant thunder. A small device on his chest translated his words into English. My children have taken an interest in you. Yes, sir, Maya said. She stood straight but relaxed. That's what people keep telling me. Vexithar's eyes narrowed. Around the room, 6 other adult Cravathi stood at attention. They were the ambassador's personal guards. They looked ready to attack at any moment. The air felt heavy with tension. Do you understand what this means? The ambassador asked. No, sir, Maya said honestly. I was hoping you could explain it to me. Nobody spoke for a long moment. The silence stretched out. Then something unexpected happened. Ambassador Vexthar made a sound. The translator said it was laughter. Honest, direct, no false respect. The ambassador stood up from his seat. He dropped down onto all 4 legs. This was how Cravathi naturally walked. My children do not follow anyone, Lieutenant. Not even me. Not really. They walk with those they respect. They choose their companions based on strength of character, not strength of body. Maya stayed still as the huge alien walked toward her. Behind her, she could hear Carlos and Linda shifting nervously, but Maya kept her eyes on the ambassador. 3 days ago, my youngest child, Sky, was cornered by a maintenance drone, Vexthar said. He moved closer. The machine broke. It was making sparks, making loud noises. My child was scared. You were nearby. Is that correct? Maya remembered that moment. She had seen the cub backed into a corner. The drone was malfunctioning badly. She had shut down its power and moved it away from Sky. The whole time she had talked quietly to the cub, trying to keep Sky calm. I was just doing my job, sir, Maya said. You did not know Sky was important, Vexthar continued. You did not know whose child you were protecting. You simply acted to help. He stopped right in front of Maya. He was so close she could feel the warmth from his body. And when Sky thanked you by touching your hand with his nose, you did not pull away. You did not show fear or disgust. You accepted the gesture. It seemed rude not to, Maya said simply. Storm made that rumbling sound again, the sound that meant approval. The next day, the ambassador said, Cloud was in the exercise room. She was trying to understand human equipment. She became tangled in the resistance bands. You freed her without laughing at her. You showed her how the equipment worked. Then you left without expecting any reward or praise. She needed help. I helped her. And Storm, Vexthar said, Watched you in the cafeteria. A junior officer was being bothered by his peers. They were mocking him. You stepped in quietly. You stopped the situation. You made sure the young man could leave with his dignity. Storm values justice above all things. Maya hadn't realized the cubs had been watching her so carefully. Hadn't realized they were paying such close attention to everything she did. My children have chosen you, Lieutenant Bennett, the ambassador said. His voice became very serious. They chose you because you have something that cannot be taught, cannot be faked. You have honor. And so I must ask you a question. He sat back on his back legs. Will you walk with them? Truly walk with them. As an equal, do you understand that this bond once formed cannot be easily broken? Maya looked at each of the cubs. Storm was strong and protective. Cloud was curious and smart. Sky was gentle and careful. They weren't pets. They weren't tools. They were people. They were making their own choices. If they'll have me, sir, Maya said slowly, I would be honored to walk beside them. The ambassador's expression changed. His face softened in a way Maya didn't think was possible for a Cravathi. Then it is done, he said. But you must understand something. This changes everything. When Cravathi walk together, they defend each other. They hunt together. They face danger together. I understand, Maya said. No, Vexthar said quietly. You don't. Not yet. But you will learn, the ambassador called out in his own language. Another Cravathi entered the room. This one was female. Her fur was lighter than Vexthar's. Her patterns were different but equally beautiful. This is my mate, Shara, Vexthar said. She is the mother of our children. Shara approached Maya. She moved gracefully despite her size. She looked at Maya with bright green eyes. You have given my children something precious, Shara said. Her voice was softer than her mate's. You have given them respect. True respect. Not because you had to. Not because they were important. But because you saw them as equals. They are equals, Maya said. At least they are to me. Shara made a sound of approval. She looked at her 3 children and then back at Maya. The path ahead will not be easy, Shara said. Many will not understand this bond. Many will question it. Some will try to break it. But if you stay true to yourself, if you stay true to them, this bond will become stronger than steel. I'll do my best, Maya promised. That is all we can ask, Vexthar said. He stood up on his back legs again. From this moment forward, you are under the protection of Clan Vexthar, and our children are under your protection. This is a two-way bond. Do you accept this responsibility? Maya felt the weight of the moment. This wasn't just about being friends with 3 cubs. This was about becoming part of something bigger, something that crossed species and culture and everything she had ever known. She looked at Storm, Cloud, and Sky. All 3 cubs were watching her with those intelligent eyes, waiting for her answer, not demanding it, just waiting. I accept, Maya said clearly. The room seemed to exhale. The guards relaxed slightly. Vexthar nodded once. Then let it be known, the ambassador said loudly, that Lieutenant Maya Bennett of Earth walks with Clan Vexthar. She is pack. She is family. Any who harm her will answer to us. Storm, Cloud, and Sky all made that high musical sound together. Their voices blended into one beautiful note. Maya didn't know what it meant yet, but she felt it in her chest, in her heart, in her soul. Something had changed, something fundamental and deep, and there was no going back. 2 weeks passed. Maya's life changed in ways she never expected. The cubs were no longer content to just walk with her during her work shifts. They wanted to be with her all the time. They slept outside her quarters every night. They waited outside her meetings. They went with her to the gym, to the mess hall, to the observation decks. Everywhere Maya went, 3 Cravathi cubs went too. Lieutenant Commander Paul Morris called Maya into his office on the 10th day. He was Maya's direct boss, a good man with gray hair and tired eyes. Bennett, Paul said, rubbing his forehead. I'm getting reports from every single department on this station. You're causing quite a stir. Sir, I haven't broken any rules, Maya started to say. I know. Paul waved his hand. That's not the problem. The problem is that the Cravathi delegation is acting different. They're more open now, more willing to talk and negotiate. Ambassador Vexthar specifically asked for you to be present at the next treaty discussion. Maya blinked in surprise. Sir, I'm just a security liaison. I'm not a diplomat. The ambassador doesn't care about that, Paul said. He leaned back in his chair. He says his children trust you, which means his whole delegation trusts you. Paul looked thoughtful. Do you know what the Cravathi have been asking for in these negotiations? No, sir. They want access to our schools, our universities. They want to send their young people to learn from us. They want cultural exchange programs, not just trade agreements or military alliances. Paul's expression was serious. For a species that values strength above everything else, that's remarkable. They're basically admitting that we have something they want to learn, something beyond weapons and fighting. I don't see what that has to do with me, sir, Maya said. Don't you? Paul smiled slightly. Bennett, you showed 3 Cravathi cubs that humans have strength of character. You showed them patience and kindness and honor. You didn't want anything in return. You've become living proof that humanity has something worth learning from. The weight of those words settled on Maya's shoulders like a heavy coat. That evening, Maya sat in the station's garden area. It was a large room filled with earth plants that had been changed to grow in space. Storm lay with his head in her lap. Cloud and Sky were playing near a fountain, splashing in the water like puppies. I didn't ask for this, Maya said quietly to Storm. I was just being myself. The cub rumbled, that sound of contentment she had come to know well. What if I mess up? Maya asked. What if I disappoint you? Storm lifted his huge head. He looked at her with those amber eyes. Then he did something new. He placed one large paw on her chest, right over her heart. He made a new sound, a high musical note that she had never heard before. I don't understand, Maya whispered. Cloud and Sky stopped playing. They came back to Maya and sat on either side of her. All 3 cubs made the same sound. Their voices blended together in perfect harmony. It sent chills down Maya's spine. The garden door opened. Ambassador Vexthar walked in. His mate Shara was with him. Maya had only met Shara once before. They're singing the heart song, Shara said. Her voice was gentle. It's what our children do when they've found their pack. Maya's eyes went wide. Pack? You are pack now, Maya Bennett, Vexthar said. He came closer. Not human. Not Cravathi. But pack, family. I don't know how to be part of a Cravathi pack, Maya admitted. She felt scared suddenly, like she was in over her head. Shara's expression somehow showed warmth despite being so alien. You already know how. You've been doing it naturally. You protect them. You teach them. You stand beside them as equals. This is what pack means. But I'm just one person, Maya said. How can I be enough for them? You are never just one person anymore, Vexthar interrupted. His voice was firm but not unkind. You are 3 cubs strong, and through them, you are their entire clan strong. This is the gift and the burden of being chosen. Maya looked at the 3 cubs. They were still singing their heart song. The sound filled the garden with beauty. It was alien but somehow familiar too, like a lullaby from a dream. What does this mean for my future? Maya asked. What does this mean for them? It means you will walk together, Shara said. She sat down near Maya. When they are grown, they will still walk with you. When you are old, they will still be beside you. This bond does not fade with time. It only grows stronger. And what if I want a family of my own someday? Maya asked. What if I want to marry? Have children? Then your family becomes their family, Vexthar said simply. Your children will grow up with Cravathi siblings. Your mate will have to accept this bond. This is not a burden, Maya, it is a gift. You will never be alone. You will never be without protection. You will never be without love. Maya felt tears in her eyes. She didn't know why she was crying. Maybe from fear. Maybe from joy. Maybe from both. I'm scared, she admitted. This is so much bigger than I thought. Fear is natural, Shara said. But look at my children. Do they look scared? Maya looked at Storm, Cloud, and Sky. All 3 cubs were watching her with complete trust in their eyes. No doubt, no hesitation, just absolute certainty that she was exactly where she belonged. No, Maya said. They don't look scared at all. That is because they know something you are still learning, Vexthar said. They know that some bonds are meant to be. Some connections transcend logic and planning. They simply are. Maya wiped her eyes. She put one hand on Storm's head and one hand on Cloud's head. Sky pressed against her back. Then I accept it, Maya said. Her voice was stronger now. All of it. The gift and the burden. The responsibility and the love. I accept it all. The cubs' song grew louder. It filled the entire garden. Other people walking past the garden stopped to listen. Through the windows, Maya could see faces pressed against the glass. Humans and Kravathi alike, all listening to the heart song. They sing for you, Shara said softly. They sing their joy at finding their pack. Maya closed her eyes and let the song wash over her. For the first time in years, she felt completely at peace. She had been alone for so long. Her parents had died when she was young. She had no siblings, no close family. She had friends, but it wasn't the same. Now she had pack. She had family. 3 cubs who had chosen her out of everyone on the station, out of everyone in the galaxy. Why me? Maya asked, opening her eyes. There are better people, stronger people, more important people. Why did they choose me? Because you saw them, Vexithar said simply. Not as dangerous animals, not as diplomatic tools, not as curiosities. You saw them as people. You saw them as equals, and in seeing them truly, they saw you truly in return. The song ended. The cubs settled around Maya in a protective circle. Storm's head in her lap again. Cloud pressed against her side. Sky at her back. This is what pack looks like, Shara said. She smiled. This is what family looks like. Across species. Across cultures. Across everything that usually divides us. Maya sat in the garden with her new family and felt something shift inside her. Not just acceptance. Not just understanding, but purpose. She knew now why this had happened, why these 3 cubs had chosen her. To show both species that connection was possible, that bonds could form across any divide. That family was about choice and love, not just blood. 3 weeks after the treaty negotiations began, everything went wrong. Maya was in the observation deck with the cubs. It was their favorite place to spend quiet time together. The station's alarms suddenly started blaring. Red lights flashed everywhere. Maya's communicator crackled with Paul's urgent voice. All personnel to emergency stations. We have a hostile vessel approaching. Origin unknown. Lieutenant Bennett, report to Security Command immediately. The cubs were on their feet instantly. Their playful mood vanished. They looked alert and dangerous. Maya ran for the command center. Storm, Cloud, and Sky ran beside her in perfect formation, like trained soldiers. The situation room was chaos when Maya arrived. Multiple screens showed a strange ship. It was angular and dark, covered in what looked like organic plating. Nobody recognized the design. It wasn't in any database. It's not responding to our messages, Captain Helen Price said. Her face was grim and worried. And it's charging weapons. Maya's eyes moved across the displays. The station had defenses, but they weren't designed for serious military combat. They were meant for pirates and small raiders, not real warships. Where's the Kravathi delegation? Maya asked. Sealed in their diplomatic quarters, Paul replied. He looked stressed. Ambassador Vexthar's orders. He won't risk his people in a fight that isn't theirs, Storm snarled. It was a deep sound that made everyone in the room flinch and look at him nervously. Except these 3 refused to leave your side, Captain Price said. She looked at Maya. The ambassador tried to recall them. They ignored him. The enemy ship fired. The entire station shook. The shields absorbed the blast, but barely. Shield strength at 70%, someone called out. We can't take many more hits like that. Maya's mind worked fast. The cubs were pressing close to her. Not because they were scared. Because they were ready to protect her. She could feel the tension in their bodies. The readiness to fight, Captain? Maya said carefully. I have an idea, but you're not going to like it. I'm listening, Captain Price said. The Kravathi don't abandon their pack, ever. Those cubs are here with me, which means technically this is their fight now. And if it's their fight, then the ambassador can't stop his warriors from fighting. It's against their culture to let pack members fight alone. Captain Price stared at Maya. Understanding dawned in her eyes. But Bennett, they're children. They're Kravathi children, Maya corrected. Which means they're probably more capable in combat than most of our security force. And more importantly, they're a symbol. If they fight, the ambassador has to let his people fight. He has no choice. The enemy ship fired again. The shields dropped to 40%. The station shook harder this time. Do it, Captain Price ordered. Whatever it takes. Maya knelt down beside Storm. She looked into his amber eyes. I know you understand more than you show, she said quietly. We need help. Your people, your clan. Can you make them understand that this is your fight too? Storm held her gaze for a long moment. Then he threw back his head and howled. It wasn't a sound of fear or pain. It was a war cry. A call to battle. Cloud and Sky joined in. Their voices blended with their brothers. The sound echoed through the entire station. It was loud enough to be heard everywhere, including in the diplomatic quarters. Ambassador Vexthar heard his children's cry. He understood what it meant immediately. The door to the Situation Room burst open. Vexthar strode in. Behind him were 20 Cravathi warriors in full combat armor. They looked terrifying, ready for war. My children call for aid, the ambassador growled. His voice shook with fury and pride. And we answer, Captain Price nodded once. Then let's show whoever that is what happens when they threaten our people. The battle was brief but incredibly intense. Cravathi warriors in powered armor were amazing to watch. They were fast and coordinated. Absolutely ruthless. They attached boarding tubes to the enemy vessel and went inside. They fought with a ferocity that made human Marines look gentle by comparison. Maya stayed on the bridge with the cubs. She monitored communications and helped coordinate responses. Storm never left her side. When an explosion blew through a nearby bulkhead, Storm physically threw himself over Maya. He shielded her with his own body until the danger passed. Debris hit Storm's shoulder. He yelped in pain but didn't move. Didn't leave Maya exposed. Storm, Maya cried out. She tried to check his wound. I'm fine, Storm said. Maya froze. You can talk? Later, Storm growled. Fight now. Talk later. The battle ended quickly once the Cravathi boarded the enemy ship. The hostile vessel was disabled. Its crew was captured. They turned out to be pirates. Opportunists who thought a diplomatic station would be easy prey. They had been very wrong. After the battle, repair crews worked to fix the damage. Medics treated the wounded. Maya sat in the observation deck with the cubs. Storm had a bandage on his shoulder where debris had hit him. You took that hit for me, Maya said quietly. Her hand rested gently near his injury, not touching it, not wanting to cause pain. Of course, Storm said. His voice was deep and rough. You are Pack. Pack protects Pack. You can all talk? Maya asked. She looked at Cloud and Sky. We've always understood your language, Cloud said. Her voice was higher than Storm's. We just waited to speak until the right time. Until you truly believed you were Pack, Sky added. His voice was the softest of the three. Not just accepted it, believed it. Maya felt tears in her eyes again. You could have died protecting me. We would die 1,000 times to keep you safe, Storm said simply. This is what it means to be Pack. Ambassador Vexthar entered the observation deck. His expression was serious. He looked at his 3 children and then at Maya. My children called the clan to battle, he said. Do you understand what this means? That they consider me worth fighting for? Maya asked. More than that. They declared you Pack, officially. Before the entire clan. Before everyone on this station. The ambassador's voice was heavy with meaning. There can be no doubt now. No question of your place among us. But there's a cost, Maya said. She was learning how the Cravathi thought. There's always a cost. Yes, Vexthar said. From this day forward you are Cravathi in all but blood. Our enemies are your enemies. Our battles are your battles. Our honor is your honor. Maya looked at Storm. At the bandage on his shoulder. At the wound he took protecting her. He was willing to die for me, Maya said quietly. He didn't hesitate. He would do it again without a second thought, Vexthar said. This is what Pack means. This is what family means. Then I accept the cost, Maya said. Her voice was firm. Because if he's willing to bleed for me, I'll bleed for him. If he's willing to fight for me, I'll fight for him. That's what equals do. The ambassador placed a huge paw on Maya's shoulder. Then welcome truly and completely to Clan Vexthar. You are the first human to ever receive this honor. I don't think you will be the last. Maya sat with her pack and watched the stars through the viewport. The station was damaged but intact. People had been hurt but none killed. The enemy had been defeated. And through it all, 3 cubs had proven that the bonds between species could be stronger than anyone imagined. That family was about choice and courage and sacrifice. That pack meant everything. 6 months passed after the battle. Maya stood in the grand assembly hall on the Cravathi homeworld. The planet was called Krathval. Above her, the sky was deep purple. 2 moons hung low on the horizon. Around her, thousands of Cravathi had gathered, more than Maya had ever seen in one place. Storm, cloud, and sky stood beside her. They weren't cubs anymore. They had grown fast in 6 months. Now they were adolescents. Their shoulders came above Maya's waist. They had gotten strong and fast. But their bond with Maya had only grown stronger. Ambassador Vexthar stood at the center of the gathering. He was more than just a diplomat now. He was a friend, almost like a father figure to Maya. "Today we honor a human," the ambassador announced. His voice carried across the entire assembly. "A human who taught my children what it means to walk with honor." Maya Bennett showed us that strength comes in many forms, that the measure of a person is not in their claws or teeth, but in their character, in their heart. The crowd rumbled their approval, thousands of Cravathi making sounds of agreement. "Because of her example, we have forged a new alliance with humanity." Vexthar continued. "Our young now study at their schools. Their young come to learn from us. Together, we are stronger than either species could be alone." Maya felt Storm press against her side, offering silent support. She was nervous standing in front of so many people, so many eyes watching her. "But more than this," the ambassador said, "Maya Bennett has shown us that pack is not limited by blood or species. It is chosen through action, proven through sacrifice, honored through loyalty." Vexthar walked toward Maya. He carried something in his paws. "And so, with the blessing of the clan and the acknowledgement of these 3 who chose her first, I present Maya Bennett with the mark of Clan Vexthar." He held out a pendant. It was carved from dark stone that seemed to drink in light. On it was etched a symbol, 3 stars in a triangle formation, representing storm, cloud, and sky. Maya took the pendant with shaking hands. "Ambassador, I don't deserve this." "You are pack, Maya Bennett," Vexthar said firmly. "Not honorary, not symbolic. Truly pack, and when you return to human space, you carry our clan with you. You speak with our voice. You act with our authority." His expression softened. "And you carry our love." The assembly erupted in noise. The Cravathi version of applause. A rhythmic stomping that shook the ground beneath Maya's feet. The sound was overwhelming. Later that evening, Maya sat with the 3 siblings under Krathval's strange stars. They watched ships come and go from the spaceport in the distance. The sky was beautiful, so different from Earth, but beautiful in its own way. "You know I have to go back soon," Maya said quietly. "My leave is almost over. I have duties back at the station." Storm made a sound of disagreement, a low rumble in his chest. "I know you want to come with me," Maya said, "but you have training here. You have studies to complete. Your parents need you." Cloud made a questioning sound, almost like a whine. "Yes, I'll come back. I promise." Maya ran her hands through their fur. They were almost too big now for such gestures. But they still loved it just like when they were smaller. "We're pack. Distance doesn't change that." Sky leaned heavily against her side, the gentlest of the 3, always the most affectionate. "Besides," Maya continued, "someone needs to represent Clan Vexthar in human space. Someone needs to show other humans what I've learned. That strength isn't about being bigger or having more weapons. It's about choosing to stand beside those who need you, even when it's hard." "Especially when it's hard," a voice said behind her. Maya turned to find Ambassador Vexthar approaching. His mate Shara walked beside him. Both of them moved gracefully in the low light. "We've been discussing your role in all this," Shara said. She settled down beside Maya. "You've bridged 2 species through simple kindness and honor. That's not a small thing." "I just treated your children with respect," Maya said. She still didn't fully understand why that was so special. "Exactly," Vexthar replied. "And in doing so, you showed us a better path forward. The Cravathi have always believed that strength determines worth. That power is everything. But you've proven that compassion and integrity and courage are strengths too, perhaps the greatest strengths of all." "What are you saying?" Maya asked. She had a feeling she knew but wanted to hear it clearly. "We're saying that your role is far from over, Maya Bennett," Shara said. Her voice was warm. "We want you to serve as a liaison between our peoples, not just diplomatically, but culturally. Help us understand each other. Help us learn from each other. And when Storm, Cloud, and Sky complete their training, Vexthar added, they will join you, a mixed pack, showing both our species what real cooperation looks like. Maya looked at the three siblings. She saw in them not just the cubs she had befriended. She saw the future, a future where humans and Kravathi work together as equals, as partners, as family. When security asked me why your cubs were following me, Maya said slowly, I told them that Kravathi don't follow anyone. I was right about that. But I was also wrong. They don't follow, but they do choose. And in choosing, they create something new, something better. They create pack, Storm rumbled. His voice was deeper now, more adult, but still full of affection when he spoke to Maya. We've always understood your language, Cloud added. We just waited until you truly believed you were one of us before we spoke. We waited until your heart knew what your mind was still learning, Sky said. His voice was soft but clear. That pack is forever. Maya felt tears on her cheeks. Happy tears this time. You three are going to be the death of me. No, Storm said. She could hear the smile in his voice. We're going to be the life of you. Now and always. Forever. This is what pack means. Under the alien stars of Krathval, Maya sat surrounded by the family she never expected to find. A family that had chosen her not because she was special or powerful or important, but because she had seen them as equals, had treated them with simple respect and kindness. The cubs didn't follow her because she was human. They walked beside her because she was pack. And that made all the difference in the galaxy. Maya thought about the future, about going back to the station, about the work ahead, about the bridges she would help build between two species. It seemed overwhelming, impossible even. But then Storm pressed against her right side, Cloud against her left, Sky at her back, all three of them surrounding her with warmth and love and absolute loyalty. She wasn't alone. She would never be alone again. That was the gift of being chosen, the gift of being pack. And as Maya sat under those purple skies with her family, she understood something important. Something fundamental. The question security had asked her all those months ago had a simple answer. The cubs didn't follow her because she was their leader. They walked with her because she was their equal, their friend, their family, and in that simple truth, two species found a way forward, together, as one pack under the stars. Maya smiled and looked up at the twin moons. Somewhere out there, Earth hung in the darkness, her home. But here, surrounded by three Kravathi who loved her without question or condition, she had found another kind of home. The kind that lived in the heart. The kind that transcended distance and species and every barrier that usually kept people apart. The kind called family. The kind called pack. And it was more than enough. It was everything.